Asmine Ted, thank you for joining me for another Zoom interview. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
Good, thanks very much.
Thank you very much for joining me.
You're welcome.
Today we're discussing a project that you've just purchased a property in. You guys are the purchasers of Townhouse 1 at 245 Grange Road in Ormond. It's a new off-the-plan project called New Ormond. It's a block or a boutique block of only 7 townhouses. And you guys have just recently purchased Townhouse 1. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
We're really excited.
It's a beautiful place. And today I've just got a few questions for you. Are you ready to get started?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So I know you guys have been looking for a property for quite some time now. Tell me, what was it that first attracted you to this particular project?
We've been looking for property for well over a year now, but the reason that this project stood out was the size of the development, for the fact that it was a good price point for that size, the location of the development, and additionally the orientation of this property, which was something we're looking for.
Fantastic. And you, Asmine?
Yeah, it's being a French national, the French is really important to me. So being in the zone that Grenada offers, the French binational program was really important for us. And I'm all about the space inside the house and the cupboards and everything. So New Ormond ticks all those boxes for us.
Fantastic. I know when we were sort of going through the process of discussing this particular project, you guys looked at every intricate detail. You guys saw the architectural plans. I think you've now even seen the electrical plans. So I know that you've really, really looked into this project into every detail. And you're absolutely right. The location's fantastic. The storage is fantastic. And there's a lot of great things going for this particular project. What was the main reason for purchasing in this particular block as opposed to other similar blocks? I asked this question because I know you were looking at other properties. What was it about this block that you liked over the other ones in the area?
In fact, we'd actually put a holding deposit on another block, which is a very similar development, not in Ormond, but just around the corner. And this came along at the last moment and it stood out. One moment while I go get rid of the kids.
That's all right. Kids?
Yeah, so for me, the main point was the orientation. So it's north facing, we get east and west sun and plus the north facing. So we still get sun in the winter. It has good size outdoor spaces. And inside was fairly similar to the other property we were looking at, but that was, for me, what really made it was the orientation.
Fantastic. And I know that I know the project that you're talking about. I know the project that you had put a holding deposit on. I think from what I can tell, this one had particularly good finishes in comparison. And I think the choice of finishes was also very appealing. Would that be right?
Yeah, it was. The finishes are beautiful. I don't want to change a single thing about them. Love them all.
Fantastic. Ted, sorry, you were saying you'd put a holding deposit on another property.
Yeah, we had. It was a similar size, similar price, a very similar development, but the orientation was just not up to our liking. We wanted something that had natural sunlight, east facing on the front, north facing on the living areas, and something that would actually just snap for us straight away. And like Asmine said, we don't want to change a thing about it because it's got all the right fittings, all the right spaces, the right orientation. It's in the right place. It's in the right suburb. It's a great location.
Fantastic, guys. Now, I know you guys are living in a Bayside suburb now. Very, very nice suburb. In fact, a very, very nice building. I'm not going to tell everybody where you live because that wouldn't be good. But what was it that attracted you to Ormond?
I think the main reason for Ormond, besides, I'd say the primary reason would be the schooling zone. So Glenora, as has been mentioned, has a French binational program, and we have a younger child who is starting out in the school system right now. She's in Caulfield Junior College for the primary school, and we wanted a secondary school to cover that as well. So the house location actually fitted that perfectly. But secondly,
well, we don't want to be too far away from work as well. So Ormond is a very central location. It's very accessible to public transport. The development is not far from the from the train station as well. So
like less really 10 minutes walk to Frankston train line, and you're only 30 minutes from sort of east side of the city where I work.
Fantastic, guys. Let's talk a little bit about your experience with this particular developer. Now, I know, like I said at the beginning, you guys looked into the plans very heavily, every intricate detail. And although the developer did offer a raft of incredible upgrades, you guys obviously had some further changes that you wanted to make. Tell me a little bit about your experience so far with the developer.
There was actually 4 or 5 package options, say, for the kitchen upgrade. We're heavily orientated with sort of family living at home. We cook most of our meals. We enjoy the home lifestyle. We cook a lot. Like Asmine said, we have a lot of storage for all our gear. We got a lot of cookbooks. And the first thing that stood out about this development was the fact that there was 4 or 5 different upgrade packages. And given the fact those packages were there, we were really happy with that option, but we wanted to go one step further. We actually picked one of the packages that was the top tier package and found our own specific appliances that were like a freestanding oven, specifically for cooking large roasts and things for a larger family. And we spoke to the developer directly and said, we'd actually like to include these. After a short conversation, it was very simple to actually get that as an optional package on top for a small upgrade cost.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, I've sold a lot of projects off the plan. And I think, like I was saying just before this interview, this particular developer is really accommodating. And the reason he is so accommodating is quite simply because he really wants to create that perfect space, mostly targeted towards families. And, you know, with families, people have different sort of dynamics. They live in their homes in different ways. So it was really important not only for him to give you some base packages to upgrade with, but then to give you the opportunity to have a conversation about further upgrades, which I'm so glad you guys, in fact, I think we're still working on a few, aren't we? There's a few that we haven't crossed off yet.
Yeah, we're both in IT professions, and we had some specific changes around some data cabling and little things to the house, which is why we're into the electrical plan. Yeah, but the availability to be so easy to discuss the changes and actually have those changes done very easily was a real boon for us.
Fantastic, guys. Well, thank you very much for being available for this interview today. Congratulations on your absolutely wonderful purchase. I look forward to working with you guys towards settlement. Thank you for joining me today.